Good evening, everybody. I'm Go Viera Go Home. Welcome to Rail Talk Live. Tonight, we're going to continue on with the paper mill. You can see it sitting right behind me there. I've done lots of work with it over the past week and also several weeks because I've been working on it now. What is this? This is part 3. So at least 3 weeks I've been working on it. It's all about bringing a old kit back to life and giving it a new home on the new layout. So that's what I've been doing. Basically, just revamping it, repainting it, giving it more detail and whatnot, just to, make it a little bit more of a realistic looking kit. But I've still got a little bit more to do. It's quite a big kit, as you can see. It's huge. The footprint is pretty big. I'll get you an accurate size after, but we're going to do a couple of things first before we do that. Also, I want to say hi to everybody who is joining us today. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, so that's pretty cool. N-Scale Dystopia. Denny gets the Timbits today. Sorry, everybody else. Mark has definitely lost his touch. It's all good. Todd, how's it going, Todd? He says, nice video on your bench work. Oh, good. Nice video. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure he was talking to Denny. Oh, no. Yeah, because he just put out a video as well on his bench work, and he's getting pretty far on that, so that's cool. Floyd, how's it going? And Brian and Ronald and Larry, how's it going? And then we've got Dundas Junction Model Railroad. James, how's it going, James? And there's a few other people that are coming in here, jumping in. Everyone's getting the hurry up. Chris is going live message, their email notification. Almar, how's it going? Dan's Model Railroading Journey, how's it going? And Anthony. Hello, Eminem Rails. Still hoping that he ordered that train from Thursday night. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if you guys had seen it or not, but Mark was very on the fence about buying, I believe it was an SD45 locomotive. And he was very like, do I not? I don't know. And then Robin Gagnon, he did a short, basically poking fun at Mark. It was hilarious. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. It was definitely pure pressure. Hey, John. How's it going? And yeah, we've got quite a few people. Trackside Mike. How's it going, Mike? And yeah, everyone's still finding their seats, so that's good. Make sure you have a hot beverage. All right, so a couple of announcements. Not really announcement. I don't know. I'm going to talk normal then. So today we're getting to the end of the year. All the Third Rail Thursdays for the month are done. We don't have a GVO this month, GVO After Dark, because that'll be Boxing Day. And I always tell the guys, as soon as Christmas hits, just take the winter to be with your families, your loved ones, and then we reconvene in January. So if I'm looking at my calendar, my January calendar, if I may, because this is something that we normally do near the end of December, I'm just going to give you an overview of January so that you guys know what you're looking forward to in the new year. The next Third Rail Thursday, it's going to be January 2nd, and that'll be Denny's week, so N-Scale Dystopia. He's in the middle of making a brand new N-Scale layout right now, and he just finished bench work. That means that track and cork and all that fun stuff, that's where he's at. I love bench work. but there's something about laying track. it's at the top of my list. So we'll definitely be watching. Hey Nelson, how's it going? And then the following. Well, actually, before I get to that, the third. Well, technically the second, third, fourth, and fifth. The Otter Valley, not Otter Valley, the Ottawa Valley Hoe Track. That's the club that's up in my neck of the woods. They're doing a long run time there from the Thursday all the way to the Sunday. So I'll be there. Mark will be there. Bubs will be there, and even Trackside Mike is coming up, so that'll be fun. All the boys getting together and hanging out in the New Year's there, running trains, so it'll be fun. And I'll be there on the Friday, which is the 3rd. I work all weekend, so unfortunately that's my weekend to work, so I have to go on the Friday instead. And then, of course, the Saturday as well, is when we get back to doing this thing, the Saturday night thing. So if you're looking for a show next Saturday, probably won't be one. That's the 28th. So yeah, starting up on the 4th, we'll start on a new kit because I did the 3 weeks or so of this. So I'm going to be moving on to the next kit, of course, and then we'll be moving right through the entire paper mill. And if I've got any other kits that I want to work on, I'll do that as well. But this will probably be the last episode for this paper mill building, just because it takes a long time to do a lot of this stuff, and I'll show you guys more of that and what we've been working on lately. But it's almost done. So besides the 2nd, which is Denny's week, we move on to the 9th, which is my week for Third Rail Thursday. I've got track and switches that'll be coming up this way, care of Trackside Mike, who's going to be picking up my order from the Otter, and I appreciate that. So I will have some track work. We're going to be starting phase 1 of my yard. That's the Mac yard. So I'm very excited for this because this includes a train station and the starting of my ladder to go into the yard. So that's you got to start somewhere, and this is going to be that start of it. So that'll be fun if you guys want to see the progression of me getting through this yard. That'll happen. So you'll want to stick around for that. And of course, the 16th, kind of a weird week, right? Because there's 5 Thursdays in January. So we have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you yet. I'll tell you on the 9th who it's going to be. I'm not even going to tell you what we're going to talk about. But the 16th, you're going to watch out for that one. And of course, we'll be back at Trackside Mike. Or not Trackside Mike. I was going to say Trackside Mark, but it's M&M Rails on the 23rd. I saw him in the chat there, and I was like looking at it, and while I was talking, and I said his name. Anyways, we'll be on M&M Rails channel on the 23rd. I'm not sure what he has planned, but that'll probably be the same day that I head out to Springfield for Amherst. That's right, Amherst, because it happens that weekend on the 25th and 26th. So I probably won't be doing Rail Talk that weekend, but just like last year, I kind of do a end of day 1 recap. Maybe I'll get Mike to join me this time. I know it's very tiring at the end of the day because you're talking to everybody and you're walking around, and we were standing for a majority of it. But it'll be really nice to see everybody. If you're there, come by the Otter Valley. I was going to say Otter Batty. It's been a long day. I'm sorry. I'll learn to talk at some point. Until then, you'll just have to deal with my nonsense. Come by the Otter Valley booth, and you'll get to meet, obviously, Lauren, the owner and proprietor of Otter Valley. And then you'll get to see me. Yay. I'm just me. And then Mike. And of course, Trackside Mike. So that'll be fun. Come out, hang out, see what's up, see what's new, and we'll have a good time. And of course, on the 30th, I'll be back by then because I'll probably be back on the Monday, which is the 27th, in preparation for GVO After Dark, which will happen on the 30th. Maybe we do like a recap of the show, talk about all the cool new announcements and all that, and things to look forward to because that's what this is all about. I saw a lot of people. I saw it. I didn't interrupt, but I did see it. There was a bunch of people saying Merry Christmas. Of course, we are a Merry Christmas bunch. I had some people saying Happy Holidays to me today. It was kind of weird. I'm just like, no, Merry Christmas. Come on now. But that's just me. So Merry Christmas, everybody, because we've got Christmas in 4 days. My kids are done school right now. Well, they finished yesterday. And so you know how it gets. Little kids around Christmas time, I'm just glad I'm done my shopping and all that for the year. And, now it's just time for family. I obviously work over the holidays, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I hope everybody has a good Christmas regardless. Yeah, absolutely, Glenn. Last year I did a live. I could barely talk because I was talking all day, so I was kind of like dry in the throat. So we'll see what happens, but absolutely. I'll most likely be doing a live. It'll probably be. I did it from the hotel room, which is like it's whatever, and I used my phone, but it's fine. It'll be fun. Instead of talking and doing nothing, I'm going to do something while I talk, but you won't be able to see me anymore. Let me show you what I'm doing here today. I'm going to show you how to make these little concrete sidewalk type pads. And I know that I had mentioned before that, you use your drywall compound on it. I did some recently where I just painted it, and it was no different. You put the paint on here, you crack it still once it's dry, and it still looks just as good. So I'm going to skip that altogether. Hey, John, how's it going? Hello, if I missed anybody as well. So I'm going to show you what I do. And if you feel like doing this, cool. If not, whatever. There's probably like 100 ways to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. I use, it's a slate gray, concrete gray, but this is the new stuff. This is like when it's gray like this, it's more of a new concrete, where I also mixed, and I'm going to show you, because I ended up using this over top. And I know you can't really tell because of the lighting, but this has a bit more of a light gray, almost sandy color. Like an old aged concrete look to it. And I mixed my own. So I'll show you how to mix that as well. Or I'll give you the recipe for that. But with this here, I've got my squares, and they're all ready to go. And I just put the gray right on there, right? And I put a decent amount on, right? You want to cover it really, really well. Now, because the foundation of the building itself is basically this color, I didn't want to have both grays being the same. So I'm making the parking lot, because this is for the parking lot, really. I'm making the parking lot color just like I did a sidewalk down the side of the building as well, and I'll show you that. But I did that in the tan color, just to kind of make it look different and stand out a little bit more. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about once I'm done doing these, because I'm going to have to bring that building over here. I'm going to add lights to the building as well too, so that'll be fun. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to wait for this to dry, but that's okay. I'm going to show you some pieces that I've already been working on. And I really just have to do the top because I'm going to be painting again over this color. So now when I make my aged gray, I started off with a white base. So I put some white paint into a little cup. From there, I added some of this gray, which is basically the base of it as well, because this is what it was. This is the color it was originally. So I wanted to have a little bit of that in there. And then I added some colors like yellow and a little bit of brown. And then it was still kind of, it was dark. So I brightened it up and I added a bit of orange, or what would technically be terracotta as well. It wasn't a bright orange. It was more of a terracotta orange. And again, I'll show you the result of that. What happens is that once you use the that color, it makes it pretty light, like a light tannish. And I even at one point I thought I had added too much yellow to it, because it gave off a little bit of a yellow tone. But once I added a bit more gray and a bit of brown, it really leveled out. And yeah, it looked really good. And I'll show you that as soon as I'm done here with this. So these are, obviously you can tell this is very gray. It's concrete, right? So, and I like doing these big slabs because you know, they'll pour so much at a time, right? So you got to separate them. But because the cork absorbs your paint, it will dry pretty quick. And then when you crack it to make it look like it's, you know, like cracked concrete, and then you put it back together, I just think it gives it such a nice look, and it looks real. It looks like it's actual concrete that was once solid that is, of course, now cracked or broken. And then adding that aged look as well is really nice. You just want to make sure that you spread that paint out pretty good. Put some on here. And this is super easy to do. Like, anyone can do this. I'm going to end up doing something similar in a couple of areas, but I'm going to keep all the colors the same per area, because obviously one building might not be built at the exact same time as another building across town, right? Like that doesn't make sense. So I try to mix enough to do one project, and then I'll move on to a next project and I'll mix a completely separate batch of paints just to make sure that I'm not recycling one color. It adds a bit of realism to it. It's also why I like to mix my own colors. I'll buy some pretty generic colors, and of course, you do the primers and all that. And primer, I mean, you're either going to do a white primer or a black primer, so that doesn't matter too much. And this cork here, like I said, I normally get my big sheets of cork from the dollar store. And it's a 1 foot by 1 foot square. Pretty sure I've shown it in several other videos. I use it for everything. Scenery, I use it for large sections where I'm putting track under, because this is the exact same height as Midwest cork. So the transition from Midwest cork to this, especially if you're doing a yard, I mean, sure, yeah, the 1 foot by 1 foot doesn't really cover enough, so you need a bunch of them. But it's still fairly inexpensive compared to some sheets of cork. I usually get two giant square sheets for about $3 or $4. So it all depends on what the dollar store has. They used to have it as a 4-pack for $5 or $6. But that was still a good deal. Walmart has they were selling a 4-pack of cork, but they want $18 for this exact same thing. And it's like, there's no way. Like, it's cork. It's not, there's nothing magical about cork. It's either it works or it doesn't. So that's high-end cork for you. That's right. Dollarama Canada's go-to store. They've got everything. I get a lot of my acrylic paints from there. Paint brushes, like I go through these cruddy. We'll call them cruddy paint brushes. It's not really bad. It's just one-time use, or you do a project. Waste not, want not. But like, I have some good paintbrushes, like the expensive ones, like the fine detail ones. Those all wash and whatnot, but some of these I use it once and then throw it away. I've got one more here. I technically got a bunch more, but I only have so much room on this little piece of cardboard here that I grabbed. Then I'll show you the next step. And obviously this hasn't taken too long here, it's a quick job. You don't really have to overthink it. You're just painting a giant square. And I think I did these 4 inches by 4 inches. I'll double check that for you if you really want to know. But for the area to which I'm going to put them, it felt like a good size. And then I've got some smaller pieces that go right up at the front where the track is going to be. So I don't want to go into the track. I'll probably do ballasts there in that general area. Okay. So there you go. That's step one right there. Painting them all with the slate gray, and we let it dry. But while that's drying, because I don't want you to sit there and watch it dry, that'd be pretty boring. Hi Russ, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Showing everybody how I do my. Well, this is going to be for a parking lot. It's a giant concrete slab, but because it's a really big parking lot, it's going to take several of these squares here to actually cover it. And yeah, it's 4 inches by 4 inches. So it's a 4 by 4 inch square. That's what I do for these bigger sections. So I'm just going to move that. And I'm going to bring in my building and I'm going to show you where I'm at right now. So like I said, this is a pretty big kit. Been working away on it here. And this is the end result for the concrete sidewalk that I was telling you about. That's what we're doing. These ones are much smaller because this is just the sidewalk going down the side here. And I've got these are the loading unloading racks from Walthers as well. I've got 2 of them on here, and you can kind of see how it blends in because this is thinner cork. This is actually some stuff that I got from James, and it's a little bit thinner than your regular cork. Now I can still remove this, and there's the color difference because that's the gray, the base gray that I was just painting, and there is the aged concrete look. And I'm going to show you as well because yeah, I did some cracks in there, but I've also slightly weathered it, ever so slightly. Thanks, guys. Carolina Foothills, how's it going? So, yeah, when I was coming up with the color, because it did take a little bit. This is the color here that I had landed on, which I was just telling you the concoction for that. So these were all gray, just like what I was painting right now. And then after gluing them all down along here, and I don't know if I can, maybe I can. Let me see if I can do this. Because you guys are going to obviously want to be able to see. So just going to move this stuff out from behind. There we go. Okay. So taking a look, this section right here. So I haven't done anything with this, and I haven't done anything really with this up here because I wanted to leave something to do somewhat of an example for you guys. There we go. You guys can see that okay. So this was all gray, glued it all down. And then obviously these areas where there's cracks, I didn't want to go heavy with the paint in there. So I almost dry brushed this over top, and it gave it that almost yellowy look, which was fine because I even did the base of these as well. So you can kind of see. I know the lighting is terrible, but so the next thing that I would need to do, and I had mentioned this earlier because I was watching Brian from the Iron Horse. He was asking about weathering, and I said, I'm not pro at weathering. I'd like to put that out there. But using this stuff here, this is the Vallejo Weathering FX colors. I feel pro. I feel pro just using this. So this is what I do. I take a brush that has somewhat of a nice tip to it. Like that's pretty pointy right there, right? Give that a shake. Yeah, the whole weathered concrete look, I mean, like that's definitely what I'm going for here. So it definitely works. So I put a little bit on my brush, not too much, and then like in some cases I'll do one of these as well and take off that extra. You can kind of see it. This one's called Engine, so it's a bit of an engine brown, and I go right where the crack is. So I'll go like right in here like this, and right along here, and I highlight the crack. And if there's a big crack, of course, like these ones here, going like, I'll go over those as well. And all it's doing is highlighting the crack. I'll also do some down the side, like the front edge, like this. And maybe I'll do some down here and some right here. So then the dry brush, because there's still some on here, but it's not as bad, right? It's not as thick. I'll just kind of brush it over the crack as well, and not the whole thing, but just some of it. And the cork itself, it gives a very nice texture on here. And I'll get the camera a little bit closer, but just doing some of this over top of it gives it a really, really nice look. And I'm just going to bring you a little bit closer so you can see. And it focused, which is good. But you can kind of see how it was just plain yellow before, and then I just go over some of it just like that. And I go along the edges as well. And it just adds so much. So that's what I did right along here, and that's what I'm going to do out the front of the building as well. This piece here is basically the same thing. So I'm going to highlight the edges, and then I'm going to put a bit of a darker look on right at the bottom of the stairs and throughout that piece. Let's see. So I need to put some on here, and then I just run along the edge, and all it is, it's basically like dry brushing, but I'm highlighting the corners and the bottom, just kind of making it look a little aged, just an aged concrete. Yeah, and the thing is that you can look at pictures of different areas, like neighborhoods, like Glenn's saying there, you can apply a very similar thing where you just look at different neighborhoods and, base it off of the area that you're modeling. Now, I also, because there's more, I like to take my napkin, and I'll also, after I put it on, I just kind of It's like I'm trying to rub it off there, but I'm not. I'm just kind of spreading it a bit. And you don't need a lot because it's such a dark color. Like this is a dark brown that I'm putting on here, right? It's a dark brown, and you just want to make sure that just making it look a little aged. We don't need to paint it. We're just aging it. And again, this does not require any type of skill to do. Honestly, it's just, you can just go to town, have fun with it. Doesn't, you don't have to be pro. It's the Vallejo stuff that makes you look pro. So if it looks really good, it's probably because it's Vallejo. You should do commercials for them. You're not pro, but Vallejo is. Vallejo for all your hobby needs. So, just something like that there. And you've got yourself a nice little sidewalk. Of course, I'm going to want to add like detail parts and stuff. These obviously need to be painted still, but I'm not painting the racks yet. That's that's good for another day, right? I don't need to do that today. You don't want to see that. Yeah. So I'm just going to cap that because that was all I wanted to do with the side of the building there. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, because you guys didn't get to see it yet, this entire side, and I'm not talking about this face here, I'm talking about right here, it's all done. You can see all the little individual bricks and everything. And I even got my roof tar on there, and I even finished this one here. I did this one up here as well. So that's kind of, if you look at it like that, it doesn't look too bad, except for this. I have to put that roof piece in still, but that's going to go in last. But yeah, you can see all the little individual bricks here, and sorry about the shakiness. Again, not completely done, but I'm getting there. The only thing I have left to do with the bricks like this is the front, which is over here. But again, no real rush. You guys don't need to see me do that. I want to do the fun stuff. Yeah, that's true. You could water it down, or hey, where's this from? Oh, that fell off of there. Oh no. Okay, well, at least I know what it's from. I've got some glue here. Yeah, it's basically just a wash that you'd be using, but the Vallejo stuff comes as a wash almost. It's a little bit thicker than a wash, actually. It's still a little thick, but pretty decent. If you're not a fan of making your own wash, then at least you know there's a company that makes stuff for that very thing. Like, I'm okay with mixing paints and whatnot, but not everybody's eyes are that, in tune, or for those who have a color deficiency, can't see proper colors, then you can always ask your hobby shop and they can point you in the right direction of which colors to use. Yeah, I've got a wall-mounted one that I'm gonna put a wall-mounted fire hydrant right along. Probably, I don't know if I'm putting it near the front or near the middle here. I was even thinking about putting a roof over top of these, just so that the men that have to work here, if it's raining or whatever, they don't get drenched. But I'd have to go through my bits box to find those parts, and I don't think you guys want to watch me do that either. So, but I will show you. Get this piece of track here first. So basically, where it's going, there's a piece of track, and it runs right along here. And then all I do is I put ballast right up against there, and there you go. Then you've got your loading, unloading. By the way, this kit doesn't normally come with an open door on the back. I did that for my last layout, or what? Not my last layout, but a couple of layouts ago. I had cut that open so I could have the train go right through, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so it doesn't. If you're thinking about buying one of these, you'd have to cut your own hole there. It's usually just the front. But this side's back up against the wall, so you never really see any of that anyways. But I'm pretty happy with it. So I just got to get some of those sodium chloride cars, and then I'll be set. Okay, next thing. You guys know I'm like a huge Woodland Scenics person, nerd, buff, advocate. There we go. I'm a huge Woodland Scenics advocate. So I'm going to be using some of these wall-mounted goosenecks on here. This is one of the sections that will be lit up, and I'm going to be able to light it up and whatnot. And I love these lights and whatnot, so I'm definitely going to be using this on my building. Because even if you choose not to light it up, which, why not? It's still a detail part. The gooseneck lamp is just another detail that you can add to your structure. And yeah, they're pretty small. They are fragile, so you definitely want to be careful with it. Only thing I don't like are these things. These things are gross. They do not hold the wire at all, because this wire is pretty thin, and this wire is also very, it's terrible. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to solder this to a thicker wire, and then the thicker wire will go in here, no problem. And yeah, then we'll go from there. But in order to do this, I need to drill a hole. Now, I normally put the hole right above the door, right in the middle, and I know there's nothing on the other side of this door here. And because I've already painted it and whatnot, nothing's going to get in the way. And I'm doing a couple of these throughout the building, so this will be fun, and you get to see how this looks. Now, the other thing is that if you don't like the color of the lamp, you can always paint it as well, which is always an option, because it's got a silver, what would you call that, a silver leg to it, and then the lamp part, the head of it is green. If you don't like it, you can paint it, and then yeah, another hole in the wall. Well, look how can you see? You can't even see that, can you? Hold on, that's both wires, and that's the only reason why you can see that. These are very thin. So stupid. It's such a stupid thin wire, and I do not like it. It's the only downside to this. I feel like I'm breaking into a bank or something right now. First, you drill the hole, and then okay. Where is okay? Here we go. Now this is a little different as well because these wires are red and black. Again, I don't think it matters too much which one's which, but you do want to keep the consistency as well. Okay. So that's kind of, I don't know if you can see that. You guys can kind of see that, yeah? All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. So the drill bit that I used just seems to be pretty good. I always use it for these small projects. And the tip of the light, it fits in that hole, but it also plugs the hole. So that's good too. I'm going to put a bit of glue. And hopefully this holds. And you just want to make sure that it's straight. I've seen some of these where it looks straight, but then the light shines to like the left. And you're like, well, that defeats the purpose. I'm pretty sure I have the wall on vinyl. Somewhere. I think it's somewhere. There you go. Like, yeah. So whether you're actually going to use the light of it or not, that's your light right there. It's just an overhead goose. And we've got another door up here because I knew Mike was going to be here. So I'm like, we got to put so many holes in all these walls here. We just want to make it look real cool. And it's plastic. We're dealing with plastic. It's going to go through. It's not going to give us any problems. You know, because we're pro, right? Nothing infuriates me more than watching a vegetarian eat pudding. How can you have your meat if you haven't had no, how can you have your pudding if you haven't had your meat? Wow. Yeah, these are bright. Well, the good thing about it is that with the way they connect, because some people just connect these to power, like a power source, right? But because I stay strong with the whole Woodland Scenics thing, I use these. So it'll connect to this, and then I can dim or whatever, right from here. Okay, so light number 2. Oh, John's off to bed. So Either somebody's going to do Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, or Enter Sandman. Does anybody know Enter Sandman? Often, never, never learn. Okay, so I do have. Oh, that one stays in without glue. Nice. That's always a happy accident. Classic. I do want to put some of these lights on the front as well, but the reason why I'm doing the side first is because the side is already all done as far as paint and whatnot. So LGRFBS, how's it going? Dwight Curley, Merry Christmas, Chris, and to your family. Thanks, Dwight. You as well. 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season to build kits. Actually, anytime is a good time. Yeah. So it'd be cool to add some other lights along here as well. So I was thinking if I did a roof over top of each of these, that's fine. That's that's already a thing. But if I put a light as well under each one, that would also be cool. Where did the thing go? Uh-oh. Did that break? Well, it's a good thing you get 4 in a pack, because that's a pain. Where did it go? You know what? I'll find that later. I will find it when I am not looking for it, because that's what's going to happen. Dang. Oh, there it is. Found it. This must be the one that I dropped. You are my least favorite. Okay, let me see if I can fix this. I dropped it and I didn't realize that I broke the little safety railing off. But when you buy one of these sets, you get 2 loading and 2 unloading. So if I cannot fix this, I will just make a new one, and hopefully that one doesn't break too. Such delicate pieces. That's why I like the big kits, because they're a little bit more, you can be rough and tumble with them. These ones here, forget it. And I'm like a bull in a china shop, so I tend to break everything. It was funny because Bubs, who's often here sharing with me, he bought some lights for his modules, and they're the ones that you can probably get. I think he got them on Amazon, but they're the same ones that you could probably get on Temu or some other sites like that, right? Where you get it's like a discount, but you get like a bunch of them. And then he got some connectors which look like these. He got these connectors. So that way he can use those lights and plug them into these from Woodland Scenics. And I thought that was really neat because it's like he made his own Woodland Scenics lights without even going through Woodland Scenics. And they're not yard lights. I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, very creative. Damn. It fell. Ugh, that's going to be a pain. It's almost as bad as watching me do wiring. Trying to glue something. Whoops. Some of it, yeah. There's no windows on here, so I can, or sorry, the plexi, whatever it's called for the clear window stuff. I haven't put any on because there's really just 1, 2, 3 windows. So, and you can't really tell that there's no plexiglass on there. So I didn't really bother. I can add it, but then I'd have to try and find it. And when you've moved as much as I have, you can't find anything. So I'll probably dull coat them regardless of whether or not I can add the clear plastic. But at least knowing that there's no clear plastic on there, I don't have to worry about it like frosting over or anything like that. So also, because I did mention a lot of the live shows that are coming up, on Monday we've got Dundas Junction and Trackside Mike. They're doing a Christmas show, so that's cool. That'll be fun. So don't forget to swing by at 7 o'clock and hang out with Trackside Mike and Dundas Junction Model Railroad. And hopefully this stays together because that's a pain. I think that's probably why I haven't painted it yet because I'm afraid that when I go to paint it, it's going to break. That's probably why. Okay, so now the wiring part. This is what the kids call the fun part, which I have no idea why, because wiring to me personally is not fun. But this is definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. Okay, so these wires, which are very thin and small, need to have a bigger wire installed. And it's mostly just because the little wire does not really attach well with the connector. So that's why we're going to use thicker wire to add a bit more of a wire to it. Okay, so we've got a red wire and a black wire. I'm just going to use a red wire and a white wire because that's what I've got. I don't think this needs to be fancy at all. There's a white wire. And then there's my red wire. Oops. I should probably just move those so they don't break. Get this thing wired up and then I'll put them back after. And what I'll do is I'll attach the wire first, and then I'll worry about the length and whatnot after. Okay, so again, I'm just going to heat up the rail and I'm going to tin it a bit just so that I can connect the wire very easily. I also want to tin this wire even though I can't even see it. Now I did this with some of the lighting on my last layout, but that was after fighting with it as much as I did. Oh, and I did fight with it. Another thing is that when I had my cat and she was down in the basement all the time, she would often end up hitting this wire and it would break way too easily. That or she was just strong arming it. I don't know. Okay, so it's connected. Nope, no, it didn't. See, that's how fine it is. It looks like it's connected and it's not even connected. It's going to be one of those nights, guys. One of those. Okay, now it's connected. Just don't want that to go flying. Okay, so set that down and then bring in the red wire. Yeah, Mike, we're all looking forward to seeing what you come up with the layout. If I'm blocking anyone at all, I'm really sorry. It's like you can't even really get a good solder going on there. Okay, we'll see what happens here, but well, that was a lot easier than the other one. Okay. Well, I mean, like I got to cover that up with whatchamacallits anyways, shrink tubing. But that's basically how I connect them. Hey, Doug, how's it going? Where did I put my shrink tubing? I think this shrink tubing might be too big for the big stuff. I hope I'm not out of shrink tubing because that'd be terrible. LEDs, more shrink tubing. That's really big shrink tubing, and that's even bigger shrink tubing. Yeah, you know, there's a really good chance that I'm out. Let's see. That's not too bad. I think I might have to just electric tape it. Okay, I'm gonna try it with this, see if this works. If it does, great. If not, no love lost or whatever. We just gotta protect the wire, that's all. And I think that's gonna be too big. That's a pain. I hate using electrical wire, but it's gotta happen, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna remove that. Nuts to these shrink tubings. Where did the electrical wire go? Oh, here it is. Do I have scissors? Nope, they're probably out on the layout. Okay, so that's one. See if we can do this one now. Now, the worst case scenario is I remove the tape here. Only if I need to. I think shrink tubing is great, especially if you're doing a locomotive. It helps keep everything in place. But with this here, it might just be better for me to do it this way in case there's any issues. So, that. And I don't need that much. Snip it there. And then I skin the ends. And then this is basically what happens. So you've got your wires from one of your things hanging on there. And then just put one in there and one in there. And then that'll hold a heck of a lot better than the little wire. Putting a little wire in there because it comes out super easy. So even with that, I would still like wrap this with electrical just to make sure, because actually that's pretty good. The last one I had, you could pull it right out. Okay. Next ones. Because I did the one, so now I gotta do the other one like that. I might even be able to light this up tonight for you guys, which I think would be cool. And you get to see the whole, start, middle, end of this process here. Typically, the Woodland Scenics lights don't require this much attention, but because I'm using the gooseneck lamps, and the same thing happens with the street lights and the street lamps as well. They're all like this. And with the street lights, there's actually a set of 2 or a set of 3 that goes into one of these. And it's not possible. If it is, that's insane because the wires are just too small. It's just too small. It doesn't work well. They don't play well together. So this is just trying to be a little innovative, of course, just to make something work. Sometimes you got to do that. And get rid of these because I don't need these. But other than the little wiring, the small tiny wires, these are excellent lights. I normally have nothing but nice things to say about them. I might have to do some gluing on the inside here because that goes right across some track, and the track, I mean, it's part of the layout, but I don't want the car getting stuck on the wiring in there, so I might have to hot glue it or something just to make sure that that wire's up and out of the way. Are you guys excited for the announcement Christmas Day from Rapido? I know I mention it a lot, but I think it's probably because it's one of the things that I look forward to the most for Christmas. That's like my present, you know, from me to me. Yeah, I always look forward to reading the email Christmas morning. Gives me something to look forward to, anyways. And you'll notice the more of these I do, the better I get at it. Because then just trying to get it done. Yep, yeah, Canada Post is back to work. Only took a month. Only took a month. Okay, we get a light show after this. Because I won't worry. I'm not going to put the lights on the front yet because of the fact that I still have to paint the front. I just want to be able to show you the side and how that's going to look. And, you know, ooh, ah, right? So, show you that at least. CN66. Well, I'm really hoping for something Go Transit because their 60-year anniversary is in 2 years. So I figure if they start now, it'll at least take a year for it to come out. Usually, anyways, that's the case. So add a year, and then, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, which is fine. But it should be here on time, at least. The wire broke. Ooh. Okay, I'll just do this one then. So I'm hoping on a Go Transit box set. They gotta do the box set. That's also a thought, Todd, because I know that it's in the works. It's just a matter of when. I don't even know if I'm going to be SOL for these cars that are coming out this week. They're a box set, James. There's a lot of Go Transit stuff that hasn't been touched yet. For example, the F40, the GP40 TC, the F7. There's a lot of different locomotives that can be done here. And when I say that, some companies, well, no one did the TC. Some companies have done the like Atlas did the Jeep 40, but not the Jeep 40 TC. You're really going to give me a hard time, aren't you? And F7s were done by Athearn, but they weren't, like the F7s that Rapido have done. So if Rapido did an F7 version of the Go Transit locomotive, I'm sure it would be great. Yes, the single level cars as well. So that's the other part of the box set. So let's say, hypothetical, they did the Hawker Siddeley cars. That's because that's the maker of them, the Hawker Sidleys, which are the single level cars, all silver. And then they did the F40 with it. Yeah, the F40. That would be amazing. That's a box set right there. That's, yeah. But then also sell the Ontario Northland version of those cars as well. And I don't know if I'm sure there was other railroads that use them, but the O&R and the Go Transit are the ones that I'm like, do it. You know what I mean? Like, make those cars. It's not like they couldn't go and get a 3D printing of it. There's one sitting at the Roundhouse downtown Toronto. I think that would be cool. It would make for a very nice box set. I've mentioned it. They have those things where you can send an email and say, "Oh, product suggestion." Yeah, darn right. I said box set. Do a box set. A lot of people for a long time were saying do the GP40 TC, and then they made a little video where at the end they kind of teased the TC unit, which you would get the CN one with the noodle. Amtrak had it, and Go had it, and that was the first one where it was like completely black, all black with the giant Go logo on the side. The new Via cars. The silver ones, yes. The stainless steel Bud cars. That's the plan. I think there's about 4, no, 10. Yeah, I wrote down a set of 10 to do. Yeah, come on. See, this is also kind of painful here because it's like you've got 4 wires. They're all getting jammed into these ports here. Come on, get in there. Stay in there. Okay, so let's see how well this works. So we've got all 4 wires in. I'm going to plug this into here. 4 wires just to do this one darn thing, right? I'm going to unplug my solder, and I'm going to find my power supply. Here we go. This one, I don't have the on and off button, so it's probably just going to come on right away. Maybe I do need to put that in there. Okay. Cool. There's a lot of these parts that I have to test still from the old layout. When I go to use my switch machines, I have to test all that too. It could very well be the box. Let me try a different one. Because if this doesn't work, it's kind of like, uh-oh. I've got a bunch of those. So I say I keep trying them until I find one that works. Could it be that haha, one works, which is kind of lame because I need both to work. Okay, so I know it's not that. I know it's not that. Could very well. Oh. Okay, so far one comes on. Trying to figure out why the other one's not coming on. I'd hate to think I got a dud. Like 1 out of 2 duds? What would the odds of that be? At the same time, I mean, it's like, you have one light on, you have one light off. But like, now it's not dimming. So that's weird. Is there an issue with this box? So what's the life expectancy anyways? These things. Because that knob just keeps turning. Hello? I'd like you to work, please. See, this is why I hate wiring. Because it's like, no matter what you do, it's not working. And this, I don't think this is me. If you guys think it's me, you can let me know, but I don't think this is me. Okay, so it definitely has to go in a specific way. That is understandable. But I've got red going to red and black going to white. And it's the same for both. So either this light here is dead. No, not even, because it's like both of them are good and the solder is good. They're all taped up. I'm checking here, like if I even if I squeeze it, nothing's happening. So that means that light must be dead. I'm almost positive that that's the case here, which is unfortunate because, such a pain. Well, such is life, I guess. I don't know. It's a whatever thing, really. But I really wish that when something like this, it would be easier to determine where the issue is coming from, opposed to me, having to try 50 things here just to get it to work. At least it looks cool when it's like, lit up. Okay, well, at least I'm satisfied in the sense where I got it in and it kind of works. Doesn't all work, so that sucks. But I can at least just tuck this in here. And yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this one because I'm pretty sure this box here is dead. Well, that sucks. And gotta figure out some stuff, That's all it is, right? You gotta make it work. And blah blah blah. Yeah, some guys they love electrical, like I love doing the scenery, and I respect that because I hate doing electrical. It's such a pain. To me, it's a pain. Yes, it's a skill, and of course, because I'm not good at it, that's probably why I don't like it. But that's how it is sometimes, I guess. So I wonder if these are dry yet. No, they are not dry. That's going to take a while. Might as well do something with the front because I've still got some time. So, well, it's 9:30. I guess it's getting there. It's about that hour. Okay, well, these are good again. Okay, put those back. So the sidewalk part that I'm doing for out the front, those pieces are not dry, of course. But that's okay. Do you guys want to see what this looks like in place, like on the layout? Because that would be cool. I don't think you guys have seen that yet. But to bear with me for a moment. Just going to move a couple of things around here. And then I'm going to lift this because this is heavy. I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get the camera to this, but I will try. Oh, you know what? I can get it pretty close. Close. Okay. So you can kind of see it there. Yeah. So the track is already going inside, and I've got kind of I was hoping to be able to do something here. Back on track with Steve. How's it going? Okay, so yeah, that's the paper mill. Oof. Yeah, I was definitely putting the stuff on the clean side because the dust is gross, but I mean, like, you can wipe it off and whatnot. I just don't think it'll stick all that well, so I use the bottom side, and then I just stick that other stuff on it. I could probably do that with that one, actually. So those sidewalk pieces, they're going to go right out here, and they're going to fill out nicely, and it'll match going down the side there. I plan on putting a couple of fences up as well, just to, like, you know, right here going down the side, because you've got your one track there that, you know, you're dropping some stuff off or you're picking up and you're pulling it out. We're going to be doing this section here next, which it involves 3 buildings. So we've got the main building, which is right here in the front. This is good for pickup and delivery as well, a box car, so you can drop a couple here, you know, and then you can also push them into there. I've got a siding over this way, and then there's a runaround as well. So if I need to take a box car from here and the logo's on this side and I got to put it in there, I can go around and then I can just push it back in, which is kind of neat. This all lights up. You guys have seen that from the last layout. So it looks good when it's lit up. I do want to change the color, though, of this building and that building. I don't like the blue. I got to be honest with you. It's a tough sell for me. I did it. I thought at the time it was neat. I no longer find it appealing. This is cool here. I've got some graffiti on the front. It definitely needs to be weathered. But this entire thing here is on a piece of masonite just like that. So this comes as a package deal. So if I move one of those kits, I move the whole thing. So I got to redo the whole thing together. And then this goes on there as well, which I still have to weather. And then those pipes, they go up onto the roof. This air cleaning thing here, and then that. Does that move at all? I should probably glue that down. But yeah, and then I've got the fence, which I need to put something across there so that, yes, it's a fence, but I want to block it off so you can't see inside. And that goes right here. The toughest part about all this is that it's already all wired for lighting, so I don't have that clean of a job as that one there. So it's going to be a little tougher to navigate this. Also, the way that this building was on the old layout, I had this building here, this monstrosity, was on that side of it. And right now there's a giant hole. So the wall on the side, on this side, it doesn't go all the way back. It was hidden. So I took one of my other kits and I found same wall, but I have to extend it to the back. And this one, of course, this is already wired for lighting as well. So I'm going to be adding a few more wall sections, a few more pickup delivery spots. But that's okay because that entire section there is going to be the truck loading and unloading for stuff. You know, kind of like a road to rail or rail to road transfer, whatever you want to call it. So a big part of doing this section first before the rest of the layout is because this will allow me to try out switching. Basically, I'll be able to do some switching with the layout, which is fun. And it's like a central hub, right? So even though the yard is going to be just through that wall there, there's going to be cars going back and forth. You might say, well, you got to do a full loop before you actually drop off at the paper mill, before you go to the yard, or you can treat it as a local drop off. So once you're at the yard, then you can use the switcher to say, okay, well, I'm just going to take XYZ over to the paper mill, switch out some cars, and bring them back to the yard as empties. And then they can go off to wherever. But there's a lot of switching that I can do here, which is cool. And, I'm very excited to expand on this. One of the switches that I've ordered is actually the very last switch for this entire section. So once those switches come in, this will basically be all done, except for there's a main line up here. There's two main lines, and one is not done at all. So I just got to run that all the way around and then add the one switch, and then this is done. I can scenic it. I can do whatever I want to it. All the track is done for the paper mill at that point. That's why I've been kind of working hard at, adding these details and, finishing up, making it look a little bit better, because this is right behind my desk, right? Whenever I do a meeting at work, they can see all of this. So I kind of want it to be presentable. Also, I'm very excited to do the yard as well because it gives me a second section that I can take trains to and from. With that, it also allows me to add a loop. My bottom loop, it's a reverse loop, but you'll basically be going from one end and then you'll be coming right back. So as soon as that's done, that means I can start going up the helix and then working towards my second reverse loop or throwback loop, whatever you want to call it, just to get my main line done. And then that's it. From there, I'm just building on, adding on, doing scenery, running trains, having fun, back to the normal, whatever that is. And I think, like, what was it? It was May that I took apart my old layout. So May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September, October, November. So it's already been 7 months since I've had an operating layout where I can just freely run, do videos. It's very, very random now when I'm able to do a short or upload a video that I'm, running a train or working on something, because I don't have the main line down, because I don't have a lot of scenery down. So once I do, you'll start seeing more of that happening again. And I miss doing that stuff because I really like running the trains and doing the almost like rail fan shots. I really enjoy doing that stuff. So hopefully I can get some of that done soon, and then I can get back to business as usual because, that's what I like doing. I like running the trains and having the guys over. I'd love to have the guys over to do some train running. It's not a big layout, but it's enough that a couple of guys can just do some loops or do some local switching and whatnot and just have some fun, Yeah, Russ says I'm really moving along, and I think that's mostly due to the fact that this entire layout is just a recycled layout. It's my old layout that is reconfigured to fit the space, minus a level. All these pieces of bench work, these were all from the old layout. All this backdrop here, minus, because I had backdrop on it, but all the masonite is from my old layout. You're going to see a lot of stuff that is just, the legs. Even the legs from the layout, they're the exact same length. This is the exact same height that my last layout was at on the bottom level. So everything is being reused. My entire helix is being reused. It's being changed a little bit because now it's going in the reverse clockwise to counterclockwise turn, but everything is the exact same. And the process of not completely starting over is there. But at the same time, I went from code 83 to code 100, needing to still buy all the switches, all the track, cork, because again, starting over, that's the process that I'm working with right now. And, it is a process. That's what it is, right? It's all you can do. Where are you going to buy your backdrop for that scene, or just paint? I'm on the fence about that. Buying paint, which will allow me to do way more and it's less expensive, versus, I could get a backdrop just for this section here, 15 inches tall, paint the top half black, and then I don't know, just that section, maybe. That's the wall is from that corner to that corner is 9 feet, and I know the posters that I normally get are 10 feet long, so it would come around the corner a little bit, but it wouldn't completely finish the scene. So that kind of, I can always just paint it black the rest of the way, but it's such a tough call, or I could just paint the whole thing blue and be done with it. James did an amazing job with his, and then he painted like the hills and whatnot. So I don't know, maybe I can get James over and he can just paint mine for me. James, you want a job? Again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I focus more on the trains and the track, and I don't care about the backdrop until it becomes a problem. And I'm like, it looks really bad. It's brown, and then there's the tan color. I need it to be blue and, trees and stuff. So we'll see. I haven't really crossed that bridge. I'm just I really want to run a train, and I really want to get some track down and feel like I'm accomplishing something. It's tough when you work on a kit. That this kit up here, I worked on it for like 2 months, and yeah, I feel like I've accomplished a lot just getting that done. But like it's not like I can run trains up there. So as soon as I can, though, I'm gonna make that whole yard happen. I think I just want to get the main line done first, and depending on how long that takes, I hope to have phase 1 done of my yard by the end of January. So, February, phase 2, March, phase 3. So hopefully by March, I have a full yard completely done. That's the plan, of course. And then we can start doing the helix. It's like $200 a box for tracks. So needing 4 boxes to do the yard, another 2 or 3 boxes for the helix. It's it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. So, and then of course when locomotives or stuff come out, you gotta do a give and take. Do I buy a box of track, or do I buy a new locomotive? So it's tough. But no, I'm having fun. I hope it looks good. I think it looks okay. Again, there's still a bit more to do, but in a couple of weeks or so, I'll be back. I'll probably be doing some of my build, some of the track laying during the live on the 9th. So that'll be fun to watch. If you guys like watching a guy struggle, stick around. There's lots more of that to happen. But we'll get that yard built, and I hope to get the cork down first, because the cork is boring to watch me do. Cork is, it's fun to watch Denny do it. Denny was having a blast doing the cork. Me, I just glue it, and I'm in such a rush because I know that the next step is laying track, and I love laying track. So we'll have to see what happens, but phase 1, we'll start that next month, and I'm so excited because that means the trains are going to leave the room. They're going to leave this room and go that way. So that'll be fun. But I really appreciate everybody watching tonight, and of course, Rail Talk in general. I hope you guys are busy working on your projects as well, and I give you somewhat of a noise in the background that you guys can build to. Nelson asks a good question. He said, what's the next building that we're doing? Maybe we can play along. I'd love to do another group build. I don't have anything planned yet for a group build, but I hope that we can do something maybe closer to the spring. I'd love to do another ITLA kit. I'd love to do that because you guys remember this one. This was the last kit that we did, and this was a big inspiration for doing the brick the way I did. I don't know if you can see that or not. Out of the way, light. Yeah, there we go. But that's a kit that I want to add to the layout somewhere. There's a telephone pole, lots of detail. The bins, the garbage bins from they make it like that. And then there's a bunch of pallets. This thing has a lot of detail to it. Even the lights, the gooseneck lights are on there too. So I hope to do another wood kit because I really like the ITLA stuff. we'll see what happens. There's tons of Walther's kits. Tons. So who knows? But yeah, we'll talk more about that in the future. If I know that there's lots of interest for the group build. Do you guys actually like the group build where you have a bunch of people building the same thing, or you're building a kit alongside me and other YouTuber guys? Let me know, because I'm always down. I'm down to clown. So you know how many buildings I've built that don't even go onto the layout? They don't make it to the layout. They don't make the cut. Not because they're terrible. It's just, I just like building kits to build kits. Yeah. Love your ITLA build. If you're going to do another one, I'd love to do an ITLA Grimsby Station. Grimsby Station. So now I got to Google it. Look what you did. ITLA Grimace Shake. Grimsby Station. Oof. There's a kit. Okay, well, this is what he's talking about here. That's the Grimsby Station from ITLA. That thing looks sick. I like it. Maybe. I've got another station that's fairly similar. It's nowhere near as detailed as that. Yeah, it's probably like $500. That's the problem with some of these kits, though, right? Because, you want a good one, but the good ones are expensive. We did that chocolate factory. That was before the ITLA build, and there was a few of us that did the chocolate factory, and it was like $120 for that. And now it's not even on my layout yet. I want to use it. I just don't know where it's going to go. That's what happens. You just do all these kits, and then you gather them, and yeah. Where is? I want to show. This is the one I like. I know I want to do this one. Oops. Hold on. Hang on. Oh. Well, this one's that's N scale. There's another one, but it's HO. I think it's available in all different. Yeah, it's available in all different scales, but what you basically do is you buy the wall pieces, and these are all individually, like that part there where the train, like the car goes in, that's separate from like that wall section. That piece there is separate, and it's all modular. So you get all these different kits, and then you make one, pardon my language, big ass kit. And that there is right up my alley. Yes, you're looking at like upwards of, depending on how big you make it. I mean, it could be a $500 kit easy. Or you could do it where it's like half of that, and it's a $200 kit. Sometimes some of these things aren't completely doable for some people, and that I understand. As you've seen, when I buy kits and whatnot, I don't just throw them away. I use them on multiple layouts, and I try to reuse as much as I can. So when I buy a kit like that, or even the one that's in my display case, to me, it's an investment. And just like when you buy a locomotive, you're investing in a locomotive or rolling stock. Um, you know, it's all parts of the hobby. You know, it's all expensive. They say that model railroading is the second most expensive hobby, number one being cars. So I often remind my wife and say, you know, I love cars. I'm a car guy. I like cars. I know how to drive one. I couldn't rebuild one, but you know, I want to go fast, you know. So cars, I tell her, I'm like, well, just be thankful I'm not a car guy, you know, because we'd have car parts all over the front lawn, car parts all over the basement. Instead, I got trains. There's no train parts out in my on my front lawn, but you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, trains are, you know, it's pricey, but you get what you pay for with a lot of it, and it's an investment. So that's the way I look at it. It could be much worse. There's much worse things that you could be spending money on, like Coca-Cola. Yep. Dang, Coca-Cola. Not sponsored. Yeah, it's all fun, and we're all just having fun. So I look forward to seeing you guys as well in Springfield. I'm not sure who's all going, but again, come see Trackside Mike and I. We'll be at the Otter Valley booth. Exact same place as last year. The booth we have the exact same booth in the exact same building. So if you came by last year and you're coming by again, we'll be there. Thanks, Chris. Merry Christmas. See y'all. Yes, and Sparky will be live Christmas Day as well. That's right. Yeah. So I think to all a good night, I guess. I think we're yeah, it's a month away. Because yeah, the show's on the 25th, 26th, I believe. So if I leave now, it won't matter if I get lost. I should be able to get there in time. Last year I got lost on the way. That happens. That happens. Oh well. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm Go Via Go Home. This was Rail Talk, and we'll see you next year. Merry Christmas to everybody. If I don't see you, to you, your families. I hope y'all get trains and stuff under the tree, and you know, we'll see you in the new year. Happy New Year as well, of course. It's been an amazing year, building amazing kits. I know that the whole moving thing sucked, but I think we're getting back on track. Pun is allowed. And you know, I look forward to a very exciting 2025, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys. Thank you for making the hobby what it is, and you guys are amazing. So keep it real. I've got a train to catch, though. Nothing has changed. I still have a train to catch. Heath! Bye, Heath. I'm just leaving. Heath, are you going to Amherst? You were there last year. I got to meet you and Al. Met you guys at Amherst last year. No, Heath, you're late. Past your bedtime, too. Probably. Ah, perfect. All right. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you in Amherst. Okay, guys. Have yourself a great year or great night, and we'll see you next year. Stay tuned, though. Monday night, James, Dundas Junction, Model Railroad, and Trackside, keep it on the tracks, Mike. That sounded terrible. Mr. Keep It on the Tracks. Trackside Mike. There we go. Okay, that sounds better. They are live at 7 p.m. So make sure y'all wear your best Santa hats, and we'll see you. We'll see you then. Bye now.